What if the place you've called home for generations suddenly became impossible to stay in? Across the U.S., Black Americans are being priced out, pushed out, and, in some cases, driven away by political and economic shifts. Rising living costs, gentrification, and targeted policies are making it harder for Black communities to thrive. But which states are the worst offenders? From historic cultural hubs to fast-growing cities, these are the 10 U.S. states where Black Americans are being forced out in 2025. 10. Washington, the disappearing Black community. Washington has long been seen as progressive, but for Black residents, it's becoming one of the hardest places to stay. Seattle's housing market is brutal. The median home price is over $800,000, and rent hikes are outpacing wages. Historically Black neighborhoods like the Central District have been gentrified beyond recognition, pushing Black residents to the suburbs or out of state entirely. On top of that, Washington has one of the highest racial wealth gaps in the country. Despite Seattle's booming economy, Black Americans earn significantly less than their white counterparts, making it nearly impossible to keep up with rising costs. 9. Georgia, Atlanta's Black exodus. Atlanta has long been known as the Black Mecca, a cultural and economic powerhouse for Black professionals and entrepreneurs. But in 2025, it's becoming too expensive for its own people. Gentrification is at an all-time high, with Black-owned businesses struggling to survive as property values skyrocket. Property taxes in areas like Buckhead and East Atlanta have doubled in the last decade, forcing many longtime residents to sell their homes. Meanwhile, corporate real estate investors are buying up entire neighborhoods, leaving fewer affordable housing options. While Atlanta remains a major Black cultural hub, more and more Black families are relocating to nearby states like Alabama and South Carolina in search of lower living costs. 8. California, the state that's pushing everyone out. California is already infamous for its sky-high cost of living, and Black Americans are being hit especially hard. In cities like Los Angeles, San Francisco, and Oakland, the median home price is well over $900,000, making homeownership nearly impossible for middle-class families. The Black population in San Francisco has dropped by over 50% in the past few decades, and in 2025, that trend is accelerating. Even in historically Black areas like South LA and Oakland, gentrification has transformed neighborhoods, replacing Black-owned businesses with luxury developments. Black Californians are leaving in record numbers, often moving to Texas, Nevada, or Arizona, where housing is more affordable and job opportunities are growing. 7. Texas, no longer the land of opportunity. Texas was once seen as a great alternative to expensive states like California, but in 2025, it's becoming less welcoming for Black Americans. Cities like Houston, Dallas, and Austin have seen massive property tax increases, while gentrification is driving Black residents out of historically Black neighborhoods like 3rd Ward in Houston and Oak Cliff in Dallas. Additionally, new voting laws and policies have made many Black Texans feel politically marginalized, leading some to look for opportunities in states with stronger protections for voting rights. 6. North Carolina, Charlotte and Raleigh are pricing people out. North Carolina's major cities have seen explosive population growth, but that growth is coming at a cost. Charlotte and Raleigh's housing markets are now among the fastest growing in the nation, and that means rent and home prices are skyrocketing. For Black communities, this means higher property taxes, increased displacement, and fewer affordable housing options. Historically Black neighborhoods in Charlotte, like Cherry and Wilmore, have been transformed by development, pushing longtime residents out. Many Black families are now moving to smaller cities or even leaving the state for more affordable options in South Carolina and Virginia. 5. Tennessee, Nashville's gentrification crisis. Tennessee has become one of the most sought-after states to move to, but for Black residents, that's creating a major problem. Nashville, in particular, is experiencing extreme gentrification. Historically Black neighborhoods like North Nashville and Edge Hill are being taken over by luxury condos and high-end developments. As a result, property taxes have surged by over 30% in the last 5 years, pricing out many Black homeowners. And it's not just Nashville. Memphis, a city with a rich black cultural history, is seeing rising crime rates and underfunded schools, making it harder for black families to thrive. 4. Florida, high costs and political tension. Florida has long been a retirement haven, but in 2025, it's becoming too expensive and politically divided for many black residents. Miami, Orlando, and Tampa have all seen massive rent spikes, with Miami now ranking as one of the least affordable cities in the country. Meanwhile, controversial education laws and voting restrictions have made Florida increasingly unwelcoming for black communities. With more people leaving than ever, black Floridians are looking toward states like Georgia, North Carolina, and even the Midwest for better opportunities. 3. Illinois, Chicago's black exodus. For decades, Chicago was a major center for black culture and business, but now, it's one of the fastest shrinking black populations in America. Over 300,000 black residents have left Illinois in the past 2 decades, citing high taxes, crime, and a lack of investment in black communities. Southside neighborhoods like Englewood and Bronzeville are experiencing severe disinvestment, and many black Chicagoans are now moving to southern states where they see more economic opportunities. 2. Louisiana, New Orleans cultural shift. Louisiana has one of the highest black populations in the country, but in 2025, it's becoming harder for black residents to build a stable future. New Orleans, once a hub for black culture and history, is seeing its black population decline sharply due to a mix of low wages, high housing costs, and continued effects from Hurricane Katrina's displacement. Many black families still struggle with rebuilding, while tourism-driven gentrification has transformed historic black areas like the Treme district into playgrounds for wealthy investors. 1. Mississippi, the state black Americans are leaving the fastest. Mississippi has the highest percentage of black residents of any state, yet it continues to have some of the worst economic opportunities for black Americans. Wages are low, job growth is slow, and infrastructure investment is nearly non-existent in black communities. Additionally, new restrictive policies on voting rights and education have made many black Mississippians feel that the state is moving in the wrong direction. As a result, more black residents are leaving Mississippi than ever before, often heading to states like Texas, Georgia, and the Carolinas for better opportunities. The trend is clear. Black Americans are being forced out of states they've called home for generations due to rising costs, gentrification, and systemic policies. While some states are pushing black communities out, others are becoming new hubs of opportunity. What do you think about this trend? Is your state becoming unaffordable? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more eye-opening insights.